So wonderful to be with you, dear ones, friends, family on this beautiful planet, a jewel in the cosmos. And so today's topic on the cause of suffering. It might be daunting. We live in a civilization at a time where we're kind of invited, we've been trained to disperse ourselves, to distract ourselves from that what is not pleasant, to reach and to run after that which we find pleasant as a way of thinking that will make us happy. And so this help us to come in contact with a real cause of suffering, not just personally but collectively as a civilization, and how this has created an unsustainable and greedy society. We realize that it doesn't work. If we look at personal well-being, it's like we have more depressed and people with all kinds of psychological ill-being. We have a lot of injustice, a lot of wars, a lot of environmental degradation and climate change due to this kind of a greedy, exploiting way of acting that is coming from a sense of separation, that doesn't see the value of suffering, that haven't looked deeply into what is the cause of suffering. And so many times we think the suffering is just because of the outer conditions. We think that country or that person have done this, and they're the reason I suffer, so then I'm gonna hit back. But actually the way that we receive someone's harsh words, or how we look back to ourselves, how can I relate to this difficult, this painful situation arising? It might be a colleague criticizing us. Even we try to do our best job and we get criticized. Maybe even as a leader we get criticized. That happened to me at least. So that's part of life. And what am I willing to see in that? Do I feel like, oh, that is a bad person, I'm gonna get back at him? Or do I see like, oh, how can I receive it to see like this? Is there anything I've contributed to the situation? How can I understand it? But we cannot do this if we're not also recognizing what is touched in us in this situation of being attacked or criticized or bombed, whatever. Like it's just a different dimension on the same problem. That we're separating ourselves from the other person. If we cannot feel the uncomfortable feeling inside of us, the pain of the not feeling safe, not feeling respected, not feeling appreciated, then it's easy to we lash out, or we consume something, or we distract. So actually we make the suffering much worse. So to see, okay, have I done something to contribute to this situation that we have some control over? It's difficult to control other people's actions or our situations around us, but we can take responsibility for our own actions and how we're feeling, and turns towards our pain, our suffering. These might seem like strong words in the society. We want to put that aside, but suffering, dukkha, that word the Buddha used, is also insatisfaction. It's like a squeaky wheel. We're like walking with a sharp pebble in our shoe. It's not just the most excruciating pain and suffering of losing our dear loved one, for example. It's not being in the midst of war zone only, that kind of suffering, that intensity that people are going through right now. So I'm also like holding that, like offering loving, compassionate energy also to those in the most difficult situations now. But in recognizing, there is suffering in me. And what are some of the causes? If it's not just the external conditions, sometimes it's a big part because of external conditions, and sometimes it's internal. There might be getting negative feedback might be a sore point in us because we've been brought up that we were never enough. We were always needing to perform better, and it was like always like the not the perfect that was focused on, and not the wonder that we've been accomplishing. So naturally that is sensitive to us. So if we see, okay, I'm suffering right now when I'm criticized because I'm also criticizing myself. Maybe I'm not still as an adult, not seeing that I'm good enough, that I'm a wonder. And so this helps us to see that we're also ignorant in terms of who we are, what we are as a human being. We might identify as the leader, we might identify as a parent or as me. We forget that we're a human being that couldn't be here without the ancestral lineage, that are the way we are thanks to teacher, thanks to so many things that we experienced and learned from our life and beyond. Now we all share this living, breathing, life-giving planet that is soaring in the cosmos. And so when we recognize that this isolation, this separation that I'm experiencing is also due to my own wrong perception, my own wrong view about myself and the world. And then I can start drawing from support. Then we're already like on the path of well-being. When we're recognizing and we're feeling into our suffering, we're recognizing, we're embracing our suffering, we're willing to look deeply into how come the suffering has come about. Are there any causes of the suffering that is actually within me? Can I care for them? And then it opens up. The path of well-being is in the midst of these causes of suffering, the path of ill-being. We see here too, we're not separated. And so when we have a society where it's based on individual, it's based on company, continued escalated profit, on a planet where we're exploiting more and more and people, and we don't pay the bills for the environmental degradation as companies earning the money from this exploitation, from the leaders upscaling the military and using military force to destroy so much beauty, so much life, and polluting a whole bunch. We're not paying the price for that. Because of our wrong view, we think that we could just go and grab whatever we want. And this greed of power, of money, of influence, we can never get enough. We can never feel fulfilled. So this is the cause of our suffering. So maybe that can relate to us in even a tiny way. What is it that I'm grasping and craving for? Then I can be happy. Then I will be able to feel okay with myself. I'm good enough. And maybe we just need to release that idea of what it takes. The idea of what I need to run after, what I need to accomplish and achieve for establishing a little bit more equilibrium, a little bit more peacefulness within me. And for me, in my personal life, I've seen that acknowledging the suffering, admitting it, and being with the suffering, exploring and looking into the causes of suffering. And this is not necessarily a mental, rational process, but is feeling, is sensing, is just being calm so that we can see what is right in front of us. What is already obvious when we're actually present to see. It's not like, I'm going to explore, I'm going to like figure this out, I'm going to read. But it's more of a quieting journey. And that's a skill so needed in this world. And that's wonderful that we contribute to that. But in being with my suffering, I've grown in caring, I've grown in compassion, in humility, but also in gratitude. That has also shaped the way I'm relating in the world, the way I'm relating to people around me. Knowing that most people feel like they're not good enough and they're only as valuable as their kind of a contribution or their result. I've always seen that sort of practice of watering seeds, of expressing appreciation, of gratitude to people around me in my life, recognizing their good qualities, their more than enoughness in this present moment. For me, there's one thing I've learned from actually being with suffering and looking into the cause of suffering. And so this separation, this division that we might experience, and we see it spreading. So what can we do? How can I start realizing I'm not separate from the people around me? And what I've noticed for myself, one situation when that is extra challenging is in traffic. I'm blessed to have a vehicle to be able to drive myself. I know it's a great privilege, and I'm trying to be respectful of how I use that. But on the road, you're in a metal container. Maybe you're on the bus, but it's such easy that could get into anonymity. There's just other metal containers around, or this crowd on the bus. They're not really people. They're not really like individuals if we don't connect with them. And so when I'm driving, I try to remember, it's like, okay, the people that pass me, or I see an intersection, there's actually a person, at least one person in each vehicle. And they have their happiness and their concerns. They're going somewhere. So how can I see being in traffic where it's so easy to get caught off, where many of us have their anger and their frustration coming out somehow. To see that we're in collaboration here. May you arrive safely where you're going. It's one of the most dangerous things we do, being in traffic. So okay, I do my part and I know you're there, I'm happy, may you be well. Even just such a simple practice has helped me to feel more connected, to remember that I'm not separate. And then there's this well to draw from, then how I engage and act in the world is more sustainable. I don't as easily get despaired by all the suffering in the world, and I can contribute something in my realm and inspire others to do the same. So yeah, there's some other things that came up, and I'm really looking forward to exploring this together, and for us to all reflect too. It's like, what are some of the causes of suffering in my life? And actually see that the value of that can be a springboard for more well-being in our lives. That is what we need, individually and collectively, to live this precious life beautifully, a lot of love and insight. So thank you.